One job is to cause pain. Like, it just keeps them in just a flux of just insanity. They were created to believe that if they didn't lock the doors and lock the doors 3 times a day, that it would flood the system and they'd go crazy. So they're compelled to do these things to protect themselves, based on lies by very evil people. So this room has keys. The keys go to everything. There are 119 keys that go to the system. The keys do a variety of things. In the nursery with the little kids, it's 3 babies. Keely is the 3-month-old baby, and there's a few small kids in there. They have, you know, those child keys, those little plastic child baby keys. They have that in there to unlock and lock things in the system. So in every room, one of the kids has a wall of TVs, 66 TVs in her room. She can see future events coming. One kid has mirrors in her room, and it works as a portal. So this last 15 years, I'm trying to help this kid. I'm trying to find things to help heal this kid, and they will astral project through these portals, her perpetrators, and say whatever, trigger her, try to cause trauma, fear, whatever. So we're dealing with all of that. 238 kids by my count, constant chaos, plus trying to function in the outside world, plus having people placed in your life to mess you up and to gaslight you and gang stalk you. It's an impossible scenario of what's going on. One kid has masks in their room. One kid has frames in her room that, you remember the Polaroid pictures? Her frames act like a Polaroid picture, so she'll start to see a shadow of something coming, and it'll start developing slowly through the frame. One kid has dream catchers. One kid has sewing yarn. We haven't figured out what that goes to. One kid has radios in her room, and the radios will tell future things that are coming. I had told them when they first came, because I was raised in church, I was raised in a Pentecostal church, and it was just demons. So any oddness, we just cast out as a demon. So like, don't mess with that stuff, you know, and it took me a minute to start sorting things out and watching things and seeing how they react and meeting each altar and learning, building trust with them. It took all this time. So this is one layer. Then you go into the room, and here's a second layer. And then there's a third layer. This is the blueprint back here. And the blueprint to the system, somebody created for evil purposes. When they auction, and they do auctions, they're auctioning people off the blueprint. So if they wanted to buy Sky, she's 16 years old, Sky has a specific task. If they wanted to buy Taya, which is usually the sex kitten, the 12-year-olds are usually the sexual alters. Because, why 12? Because they're right at that age of accountability. So they try to catch them before that innocence, and they make them the sex slaves. So if somebody wanted to buy Taya, we go through the door, we pass the keys in her room, and we get to the blueprint. And they put money down on this blueprint, and now they've bought this altar. If you try to help a survivor and you're trying to like fix this mess so they can be free, you got to go through the door, you got to build trust with the kid, you've got to deal with the TVs or whatever's going on here, and we get down to another level, the blueprint, and they put booby traps and bombs and demons layered on this level. So untangling a survivor from all the evil that's been put on them is almost an impossible task, except for God. God's made a way where there was no way. From the things I've seen, I don't care if somebody comes in here right now and puts a bullet in my head, I will not stop speaking, because this should never happen. The level of evil for somebody to think we're going to rape a 3-month-old baby, we're going to rape it till it splits its psyche. We're going to take that piece of new psyche that's just split off, and we're going to program it with a name, with a task. We're going to place it on this blueprint so we can come back later and use it for whatever we want. Do you know the depth of that evil? You know how many layers? This is 3 layers I'm telling you about. There are so many more layers behind this. Will blow your mind. Let me I want to do something later, but take a minute.
One more thing is the consent age. Gavin Newsom that wants to lower the age of consent to 12.
Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom, yeah. There's the child bride laws. If you guys want to write those down and take a look at that, the child bride laws in certain places are not passed yet. So there's an age on it where you can go out of the country or you can go somewhere else and marry a child. And they're not trying to change the laws on that because it's easier to break someone at a certain age. What is it called? For Christians, it's called the age of accountability. That's when the things and the thoughts that are coming into your head are not just you're sponging from somewhere else, that you start to say those are your own. For the Mexican culture, it's coming of age. And once they're of age, then there's certain things that you don't get on them for or worry about. Quinceañeras, yeah. So
You finish your therapy.
There's something to help you understand it a little bit of everywhere. Again, people know the buzzwords. They know about MK Ultra. They know about now the fact of DID and that you have to split somebody's brain. But what they don't understand is how all that stuff takes place, and nobody talks about how to live with it. Nobody talks about living with it. So, yeah, let's take a break.
Do you want to run the slides? Number 12 through 43.
Yeah. Oh, the different slides?
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. Let's keep it on. 1 second. Hold on.
So, the biggest tool that I have is paying attention. It's paying attention to the changes, paying attention to the different altars, paying attention to the patterns, paying attention. I'm going to show you a bunch of slides. There's about 10 or 15 slides of the different altars. Pause on them for a second. I want you to pay attention to how this one makes you feel. How old do you think this kid is? 5. Pay attention. All right. So 10. What I had to do was to pay attention to how I was reacting. When I see a little kid, when I saw NJ, you get down on the floor, hey buddy, what's up? You know what I mean? So if I'm reacting like that, then I'm probably dealing with a child altar. Again. Watch the face structure, watch the skin color. In Allie's system, there are only 5 altars over the age of 21. 2 of them were 80-year-old women, Kenya and May. Once I became mom, I've not seen them for a while because I just kind of took over that job. That they, on each of the levels, they have somebody that's a caretaker. Each level has babies and each level has little kids. But the majority of the altars are under the age of 18.
Did you have to figure out individual ways for you to interact.
Yes.
When she would,
Yes.
gosh, it must have been tough.
It's been a long 15
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
We can pause there.
Another thing, sorry, I'm over here, my knees knocking together. Another thing, everybody thinks that sex trafficking is the worst part. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Yeah. Everybody thinks that, no, let it show. You're fine. Let it show. Everybody thinks that sex trafficking is the worst part. That's not. I'm not saying that being assaulted is easy. I'm just saying that that's not the worst part. Do y'all remember when I called the Super Bowl scores? You remember when on purpose, I was like, oh, the Chiefs are gonna win. Now, what do I know? The Chiefs are gonna win. It's in my highlights if you missed that, but we were like, here's the score, but I didn't give you the exact score because I know there's some people that are actually listening to me, and I didn't want them to bet on it because it's evil money. Then the fires happened in Los Angeles and Palisades. You remember that? Before that, I said, hey, there's gonna be fires. Watch out for that. Those are on purpose. And a lot of people were like, how'd you know that? Okay, then the fire started. I think it was 9/7, 9/8. I said, hey, false flag incoming. The next day, 9/10. Someone asked me yesterday, how do you know these things? MK Ultra. I'm not saying I'm psychic. I'm saying that because of this, because of the abuse, because of someone using me as an experiment and as a guinea pig, someone messed with my brain. And I don't claim to be psychic, and the things that I can do, I hate it. It's absolute bullshit. It's not fun. I'm not proud of it. I'm not like, yay, I can do these things. But can you imagine what would happen if somebody knew that I do the Super Bowl scores all the time? What's gonna happen?
Nothing good.
Nothing good. Why? Because of what? Money.
Greed.
And greed. And so what do you think somebody that is a fan of getting those Super Bowl scores would do to me if they knew that I had the Super Bowl scores like that?
Nothing good.
Okay. So then if I knew of certain events happening and they could bet on those things and get some type of gain out of that, then what would happen to me? See what I mean? So sex trafficking is not the worst part when you have a remote to someone's brain.
What is this? Why am I bold? What's going on here? Buy seeds. Oh no, it's not grow a garden, is it? Buy cat.
That's not just me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And there's somebody that's just like me that you walked past today, you sat with today. There's somebody out on the streets that you will walk right past today, and you don't understand that they're dealing with the same thing because they look like I had a shower and crochet braids in my hair. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the misconceptions, the expectations that people don't get is this right here. And it's because so many content creators, so many people can do, oh, let's talk about MK Ultra, but are you really talking about it? Are you just saying the word so everybody feels like, ooh, something big, maybe I'm gonna get an answer here? Are you really talking about the depth of it, or are you just bringing it up so people can be like, that sounds bad? You know what I'm saying? The amount of information that you guys have gotten today, you probably won't find it in a book. I'm pretty sure if you went to school for a few years, you probably wouldn't find it in there even if you were a psychology major. The amount of information that you're getting right now is coming from firsthand. There's situations that we've been in, and some people are like, how do they know so much? It's not because we think we know everything, it's because we've been through a lot. And we can admit that we've been through some things. When we talk about yoga, and some people will jump on me, how can you say that about yoga? Because I did it. I've done yoga. I fell asleep in a pose one time and had my whole body messed with, and I fell asleep in the living room for an hour standing up. Because you can mess with some very evil entities in yoga. Those poses, those opening your chakras, that opening your third eye to those things can enter into your soul, just like spirits of alcohol. Just like if you're going to a scary movie and then all of a sudden that fear and that evil is in your spirit and it keeps waking you up at night and you're having nightmares and stuff about it, and you're like, I can't think straight because this movie that I watched is still in my head. You let it into your spirit. It's now in your body. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't know everything. We're speaking from experience. And unfortunately, we've had to have these experiences to speak about. So before anybody is like, I think they know, I wish that we did it. I really wish we did it.
The other misconception that's been going around a lot is that, how to say that, there's question about where Allie came from, if I programmed her, if I split her. Let me be very clear. This was in place and already active and working long before I ever met her. Allie is an alter. So your son was born with an intact psyche. With the MK survivors, they've already started splitting them as babies. So how old is it when your child starts to develop their personality? 6 months, maybe a little older. If they've already started trauma and started splitting them, do they develop an intact psyche? No, they don't. So there is no core personality. That's one of the biggest misconceptions, is that the MK survivors maybe have a few alters that pop up now and then, but basically they go to a like a normal state, and that's their normal personality, and then once in a while an alter might come up. No, that's not true. I have not found a core personality in Allie. So anybody that you've dealt with or spoke to, Taya, Allie, Maddie, whoever, those are all alters. I've not found a core intact person for the psyche. You guys have only ever seen or interacted with alters.
And for the medical diagnosis, from the doctor that you just read, if you look back in there, if you need to look back in there just so you can match up some information of what we just said, if you want to take a look at that again, we can pass that back around the room. And in the medical diagnosis, she also states there is no core. And that's what makes me so interesting. And again, I don't want to be anybody's experiment again. So going back into the tunnels and dying is not the worst part. That's why I said there's things worse than death. If you understand what they're doing to hybrid animals, our fruit now, that is now 2 different fruits put into one, our chicken and our food that has now been experimented on and put together. Some people can cut a watermelon open and there's no seeds anymore. Y'all notice that? It's because they're experimenting on our food. The same way that they're experimenting on the food, they're experimenting on the people, mainly the children. So I don't give a damn, and I'm saying this to the cameras who scooch over, Laura Crofts and Lucas Cages. I don't care what you believe or what you don't believe from me. It doesn't stop the fact that we're talking about children. You can run from the shit that I'm saying all day long and any time that you want. That doesn't stop the fact that we're talking about children. If you wanted this shit to stop, you would be standing up for it too. But the fact that you can bleed and fall into evil and then wonder why you can't look in the mirror. If you have children, wonder why there's even a crumb of something dangerous near them. If you have animals, some people don't really deserve animals, and you don't have any children, how could you even love an animal? They're doing the same shit to the animals. We have hybrid animals. There is a video on Telegram that I know the admin can hear me. Repost it. It is a baby, and it is half of a baby. There is a lion cub hand and the snout of a pig. There are baby farms that they are messing with, and there's farms where they impregnate and they breed survivors, victims, on purpose, and then after they breed them, they take their babies away from them and they put the baby in a baby farm. Those are what baby farms are. So I've mentioned those before. People are like, do they take care of the babies? Like, are they holding them? Is somebody rocking them asleep at night? Baby farm. Does that sound like anybody is being nice to a child?
They're a commodity.
They're collecting them like farm animals. Baby farm. Those kids and those parents that they snatch and they never get to see their babies again, where do you think those babies are going? The hospitals, the corrupt hospitals, Riverside County, California, that have a delivery unit in the hospital. Every hospital with a delivery unit has a black market. Every single one. If it has a delivery unit, it has a black market. If it has a morgue, it has a black market. That means that if somebody dies, like during COVID, when we didn't get to see some of our family members after they disappeared for COVID, nobody had a falling issue, nobody had a cut in the kitchen, nobody fell down the damn stairs anymore, everybody just went to the hospital and it was COVID. People started disappearing. Nobody could see a body, nobody could advocate for their kids. If there is a delivery unit and a morgue and a hospital, there's a black market. And what happens is after they snatch your kid, if there is somebody that CPS comes in the hospital, those social workers that come around, and they go snatch that baby, they will put the baby downstairs, especially if it's your firstborn child, especially if it's a baby that has a very specific bloodline. Oh, universal bloodlines. If there is something that they want that is going to feed that market in their insurance, they will snatch that baby, and then they'll say, you're unfit to be a mother. Give me the baby. The woman just had a baby. Can she fight?
No.
Can she get up? If she get up to start fighting, what are they going to do? Restrain her. And then what are they going to call her? Crazy. Are they going to do anything else? Snatch the baby. The baby now moves to the black market. And they tell you your baby just went to foster care. That's not true. Did you get a chance to meet the baby? Did you get a chance to really see the baby, or did you just go through pregnancy? Did you just go through labor? Are you completely out of it? So did you really see your baby? No. So do you know if that's the baby that they just put in Child Protective Services custody? No. No one does. Because where's the oversight? Who's helping? Who's advocating? Who in their right mind see the baby? Nobody. So who's going to ever ask questions about the baby? Nobody. So they move that baby, they put that baby in the black market, they say, how much are we getting for this kid? How much? What's the menu for this kid? What's the bloodline? What's the ratios? What's the size? What's going on with this kid? And after they get a menu, they sell that kid off. Now, if that kid is able to be put somewhere, they will put that kid on an island in a tank, in a farm. The same way they farm fish until they get bigger enough to put them back in the water. Do you understand what I'm saying? Trout. Has anybody ever seen a fish farm? And they come out as little tiny fishes at first, and then they hang on to them for a second until they tag them, and then they're huge, and then they drop them back in the water. That's what they're doing with kids. They take them, they wait till they get a little bit bigger, they do all the things that they need to do to them, and then they drop them into the world, and they tag them. Who has the remote? Whoever took them. Whoever brought them. Whoever transported them. Whoever moved them. You understand what I'm saying? So again, we get so wrapped up in words that we forget that this is our reality, more around us than we think. So again, I don't care if you don't believe me. I don't give a shit. I ain't talking to y'all Lucas Cages and Laura Crofts. I don't care. I don't care. Because guess what? There's still children that need somebody to speak the hell up. There's still children that need somebody to stand up. And I don't give a shit what you do to me and this woman. We're not gonna shut up. I don't care how many enemies we got, we're not gonna shut up. I don't care who wants to believe what narrative, we're not gonna shut up. I don't care if you tried to kill me, even in my death, I won't shut up. And now everybody in this room has become an insurance holder. Are y'all shutting up? No. All right, let's take a break. Thank you for ending that.